Hey guys, Tom itself here, and today I want to talk about something that's been bothering me for a while, but essentially I could sum it up by saying no one has a monopoly on noobs. Every game, every system, anywhere, you'll find noobs. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if you don't find noobs, there's a problem, because that means that people are learning how to play that game from somewhere else and then coming over, in which case the game is probably pretty much just a straight copy, or the game is dying a slow death because there aren't any new players. That's who are the noobs, the new players who don't know how to play yet. A lot of the time I hear people trying to categorize noobs in some really weird categories. First, in terms of what game, like the Halo noobs coming to COD, the COD noobs coming to Battlefield. I don't quite understand how you try to make this distinction, because if you haven't played the game before, yeah, you're probably a noob at it. Although honestly, most modern military shooters are so similar that this is kind of silly. But for me, going from Halo, my first FPS, to COD was kind of a challenge. But going from Call of Duty to Battlefield, not so much. The games are a bit more similar than Halo and Call of Duty, both modern military shooters, and I think the more games you know how to play, the easier a time you're going to have moving to a new game. Just like learning new languages. The more you know, the easier you're going to have picking up new ones. But for the sake of argument, let's say we have a Call of Duty noob who decides to try and play some Battlefield because his friends tell him it's awesome. Well, if he's already a noob at Call of Duty, why is that going to affect how he plays? If you don't know how to play the game in the first place, what on earth is going to be the difference between just being a straight up noob? So, again, this is a distinction I really don't understand. Now, if you do try to play one game like another, at first, yeah, maybe okay, because that's what you know. It's when you don't learn from your mistakes or successes that I think you really run into problems, and players who just aren't good, honestly. And in that sense, I think it's a lot harder to be a modern military shooter noob in Battlefield than it is in Call of Duty. Let's face it, kill cams are great to learn from. You also have larger teams in Battlefield, so it's harder to see how your own actions affected the result of the game. And finally, in Battlefield, it's harder to get a team of friends together, and so you have more variables with your own teammates and the other team changing over. It's really hard to see why the game is playing differently. So yeah, if you're a noob to modern military shooters, go learn the genre in Call of Duty, because it's going to be easier to get feedback on how you're doing. At least that's my opinion on it. But what kinds of noobs are there? I think it says a lot about personality more than anything else. Maybe you got really cautious noobs who just don't want to die. Maybe they sit in the back and snipe, try to stay hidden, don't really care about a whole lot of action, they just don't want to die, and well, in Battlefield they're really annoying to play against, especially when they're on defense and rush. Yeah, yeah, it really slows the game down, not a lot of fun, but they just don't want to die, that's how they're going to play the game. Or maybe you've got a really aggressive noob, doesn't really care how many times he dies, but just wants to get in the action, wants to make something happen. They can be kind of frustrating when they're on your team, but if you're getting to kill them, hey, it's kind of fun. Or maybe you've got the noob who's all about the objective, looking to win even though he doesn't quite understand how to do it. For example, you might have a noob in Domination here in Call of Duty who just sits on his flag to defend it. And we know that's not how you play the game, but hey, if you're new to it, maybe that makes sense. Maybe that seems like a logical thing to do, and you're just going to sit there and try to defend your own flag. Or maybe you get the noob who just wants to follow you around because you seem to know how to play the game. I can't be too frustrated because at least he's trying, right? No matter what kind of noob you have, I think where everyone gets frustrated is when they don't try to learn from their mistakes, they don't try to get any better at all, they just want to keep doing the same thing. And playing with them gets really frustrating. That's what I think drags everybody down. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, seeing as how we're coming up on a new game season, what with Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, and Halo all coming out in the next month or so. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of noobs around, and people learning how to play their new games. You can't be too frustrated at them, and I think people assume that just new players coming over to a different game from a popular one, it's laughable. Oh, and that's not laughable. I was on a 24 kill streak right there. I would have been the Moab with the Spaz, without Specialist, and well, that's how it goes. It's a good streak all the same, but it would have been nicer to get one more kill in there. Well, now that I've talked about noobs, let's go ahead and talk about another fun one, like PC versus console. And I haven't left myself enough time to say a whole lot, which is probably a good thing. Nonetheless, I think I would sum it up by saying you have to understand that either way, whichever way you go, whichever console, whichever PC, whichever parts for your PC you pick, you're making trade-offs. Different trade-offs, and they're often hard to quantify. How many people have done this before? You've got things like keyboard and mouse. Yeah, for the most part, that's good, especially for FPS gaming. But on some games, a thumbstick is great. You know, what are you playing? PC, better performance, mods, but consoles, I don't have to worry about hackers for the most part, at least in newer games. Yeah, again, you know, more trade-offs, and they're hard to quantify. And for the most part, it just sounds like console wars with people trying to justify their own choices. And I really don't care, to be quite honest about it. You know, play whatever works for you and enjoy it, because that's not what gaming is about, just enjoying it. Not starting some bizarre war about who chose which trade-offs in order to go have some fun. Nah, it doesn't make any sense. Now, there is one odd comment that I keep reading over and over again about Battlefield, console, PC things, and that is that most of the problems in the PC version of Battlefield are because it was designed for console, or that they changed to making a console-centric game halfway through. Now, as someone who plays Battlefield 3 on the console, the Xbox, will tell you that there are enough issues on the Xbox version that I would have a hard time being convinced that it was designed solely for my Xbox. I find the idea quite laughable, in fact. And I think a lot of the problems in the game are just that, problems, and it doesn't matter what it was developed for, there's still issues with the game. And that because it doesn't play well on either one, at least not as well as it should. And so this idea of blame the console from the PC guys, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know. Again, it just seems like people trying to justify the choices they made. Though I would note, much to my surprise, BF3stats.com usually tells me that there are more PS3 players online than either PC or Xbox. Though the console with the most problems, especially input lag, is for some reason the most popular for the game. So, go figure. Hey, whatever works for them, whatever they're having fun playing. Anyway guys, I want to thank you for listening to my rambling commentary again. I've got several videos, several high-effort videos coming out in the next couple days, I hope, because I have to see when people upload them. And looking forward to sharing those with you guys. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.